Hello, my name is Jolo and welcome to my channel. I decided to ask the people who follow me on my page to decide which of the two I should make next. And we have a winner, which is the red one. So I won't be making the green and black this week, but you have a chance to vote for it again next week. I have a panty pattern that I use on a regular basis, and this is the high waist version of it. So I just altered it. I cut out pieces of the front and back sides just to create the look that I'm trying to achieve here. So instead of having the full pant go all the way around, I decided to just cut a little bit from the hips. I'm thinking it's not going to be as cut out as it is in the picture here, but this should be enough to give the look that I'm going for. This is the gusset piece. Everything is cut on the fold, the front piece and the back piece. I not only decided to go through my odd sketches to figure out what I could do next, but I decided that I should go through my stash of fabrics to utilize everything that I got in the past. I've had this lace for about 10 months to a year maybe. I'm not really sure, but it's been there for a while. It's not really stretchy in this direction, but it has a little bit of stretch in this direction, and maybe I can use that to go around the body so that the panties can be a little bit more comfortable. I really love the appearance of this lace, and maybe one day I can make a bra with the extra lace that's going to be left. I also fell in love with this red lace. I've had this for about 6 months, maybe. Yeah, I got it a little bit after I got the other lace. It's quite dense, but very stretchy. Not extremely, but it's stretchy enough to make underwear with. And I couldn't decide between the two, so I decided I'm going to have a pair of panties made from each one, and you guys can tell me which one you like best. This lace is pretty light, as in very see-through, so I decided I'm going to use power knit. To line the underwear, and I love how it actually looks with the power knit underneath. You get to see the details of the lace much more than when it is by itself, and because it's not so stretchy, it's a bit rough, and having the power knit on the inside is definitely going to add a comfort factor to the underwear. These are the sliders that I'm going to use for the side of the underwear, together with this strap elastic, which is hand dyed. It used to be white and I dyed it red. This is the picot elastic that I'm going to use for the band of the underwear, and some red fold over elastic. This is the smaller fold over elastic that I'm going to use either for the top of the bra when I'm done to cover the seams of the two, or maybe for the sides of the panties. I'll decide as I go along. This lace wasn't long enough to cut the back piece from, so I went ahead and cut 2 pieces that fit the length of the back, and I'm going to sew across with a zigzag stitch. This is the front piece, the cotton gusset and the lace gusset. I never throw away old t-shirts because that's the best fabric to take your gussets from. The fabric has been washed so many times and it will be good enough to use as a gusset piece. I used the same cotton for the other lace. They're both red, so there was no need to change. And like I mentioned earlier on, I'm going to be using lining with this lace. So I cut the back pieces. It's pretty long, I'm sure it's not fitting right in the frame, but those two are going to be sewn together, and I'm going to add the lining afterwards so that the seams don't rub against my skin. I went ahead and did the same with the front pieces. I have two, and this is the only way I could actually cut this lace because it's not wide enough to cut one piece from it. And I'll go ahead and sew this together, then put the lining on top so that the seams don't rub against my skin. That would be very uncomfortable. I divided the sides into 4. This is the first part where the strap will go. This is the second point, and this is the third, and the top will be the fourth. These are equal parts to evenly distribute the length of the side piece. I used 4 instead of 3 like on the sketch because it felt a little bit like 3 would be too far apart. Now that the straps are attached, I'm going to use this piece of picot elastic for stability and also to cover the raw edges. So I'll zigzag across, pulling on it slightly so that when I put on the underwear there won't be any gaps in between. It has to mold the body correctly. So just slightly, ever so slightly, pull on the elastic as you do the zigzag stitch. I'll use a 3-step zigzag just because it's bulky on some parts, and I found that a 2-step zigzag sometimes the needle breaks, so a 3-step zigzag should do just fine. So I'll flip this and stitch the bottom end of the elastic. After attaching straps to both ends of the front panel, I'm going to now attach these pieces to the back of the panty, and it's basically the same process. Pin them to the panty piece and sew the elastic over them. Now that all the straps are attached, it's time to put the band elastic to reduce the stretch in the lace when it's worn. For the bra, I'm going to be using the Bogravia bralette pattern. I'm going to put a link in the description so that if you want to, you can try it out. I've never tried it before, but I love how it looks and it worked perfectly for this look. I'll definitely be adding 2 on top, but this is a pretty good base for this pattern. I'll be using red bonbon to make the Bogravia bralette. The pattern calls for a non-stretch lace or 2, but I want this to be a little bit stretchy so that it's comfortable, so I chose to use a red bonbon. It's pretty stretchy in one direction and not that stretchy in the other. I went ahead and cut the pattern pieces for this. These are it doesn't have many pattern pieces. This is the wing, also known as the back band. This is the side piece of the cup, the outer cup, and this is the inner cup or the center piece of the bra. So it's only 3 pieces that I've gone ahead and cut out. I'm going to take these to my sewing machine, put them together, and I'll be right back. Bralette is complete and I'm happy with the results. I tried it on and it really looks good on me. I almost feel bad that I have to put layers of 2 on top of it, so I'm going to put these about 1 centimeter apart, maybe 2. I'll see how it goes when I start. I'll start with 1 centimeter apart, and then if that's too thick, I'm going to do 2 centimeters apart because I want it to be thick but not too bulky. So I'm going to show you what the bralette on its own looks like on the mannequin because I really love how it looks. It's very comfortable. And because I used bonbon instead of the recommended non-stretch fabric, it's very bouncy, but I'm okay with that, and I think it will look great with the 2 on top. This is what the bralette looks like from the front, and this is what it looks like from the back. I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch to attach the 2 to the bra, and I'll be stretching the fabric just slightly so that it can be able to stretch after I'm done applying the 2. I'm finally done with adding the 2 to the bra. It took a very long time and it felt like a million years, but I'm happy with the result. And it's a little bit longer than I want it to be, so I'm going to trim it all around and then I'll show you the complete look after. So 2 weeks ago I did the diamond bustier in a quilted satin. That's something I had never done before, and the theme continues to today. After completing this is something that I've never done before. It was just an idea in my head that needed to come to life, and I think I did it a little bit of justice. Definitely, if I'm going to do this again, it's going to be way easier and way better. It was a learning curve, and I really enjoyed challenging myself to do this project. So to start with, the sketch has 3 straps on the side, but I ended up using 4 because when I used 3, the gaps were just too wide, looking at the fact that I used a high-waisted panty pattern. Maybe if I had used a regular pattern, 3 would have worked out, but I ended up using 4. And the straps were a new addition because I wanted it to be really comfortable. Looking at my bust size, I wanted it to be something I could wear and enjoy wearing. I'm going to start with the panties. I also put my logo here. So this is what it looks like. And I really love it. It looks good. I think it looks pretty good, and it fits very, very well, very comfortably, because I always use a pattern that fits me great. I don't ever want to draft from scratch, and it worked out pretty well, even though I had to adjust the straps more than once to get them right. But like I said, this is something I had never done before, and I had to do a little bit of testing before I could get it right, but I finally did, and it fits great. And this is the back. The back has no rings or sliders, that's only in the front. This is the panty from the second lace that I had. 4 straps on the sides as well, and I also like it. It's very comfortable because it's very stretchy, so the straps had to be a little bit shorter than the other one, but because I started with the other one, making this one was pretty easy because I was just repeating what I had learned from the previous one. And this is the back, same as the other one. No hooks, sorry, no sliders on the back as well, just straps. I'm not sure if it can fit in the frame, but yeah, this is what it is. I also put my logo on the inside. So the reason I had used a single layer is because I wanted it to be easy to attach the two, and as you can see inside, it looks wrinkly, so it's still stretchy because I was pulling the fabric when I was sewing, and the fact that it was just a single layer made it easy to sew over it. Yeah, so this is the inside. And this is the poof bow on the outside. It's definitely not going to be possible to see what it looks like from the table, so in a second I'm going to show it to you on the mannequin. But yeah, this is the 1 million layers of 2. I'm just kidding, but it felt like I was adding 1 million layers of 2 when I was making it. It took me several hours just to get it right. I have also never done this before, so it took me a few tries to get it right, and I'm happy with the results. I'm sure you will be too when you see it on the mannequin. One thing I have to add is I don't understand why the color is coming out this way, but it's a deep red, and I hope it will reflect that in the pictures that I'm going to take and put on my Instagram. Kindly follow my page on Instagram. I'm going to put a link in the description below, and you can check out the pictures there. All the pictures of everything I make are going to be posted to my Instagram, and I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or you have any pointers that I can improve on. Please subscribe and turn on your notifications bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching and have a good day.